Some encouraging words for the Prime Minister of Norway was that, and that brings us up to a quick sort of summing up of the present state of affairs in the rainforest, the state of the union, so to say. There are some encouraging and some discouraging factors which present the picture. Please, the stage is yours.
Thank you. I think we should do this together. Well, I'll try to summarize this thick report for you in a few minutes. What is the state of the rainforest? I think the most important development the last years has been the impressive and remarkable reduction of deforestation in Brazil. The world's largest rainforest country have been able to reduce deforestation by 80% the last decade. And Brazil have achieved this while at the same time reducing poverty. They have shown that economic development does not depend on destroying the forest. That should be a great inspiration for other countries. This shows that it's possible to protect the rainforest for future generations. So far, other countries cannot show the same positive development, at least not visible in reduced deforestation figures. But also in other countries, there are positive political developments, and this is a sign of hope. Reduced deforestation, however, will not come without decisive political action to follow the statement of good intentions. In all the three remaining rainforest regions, the Amazon, the Congo Basin, and Southeast Asia and Oceania, plans of extensive industrial clearing of rainforest for plantations, mining operations, oil and gas developments, and infrastructure currently threatens to reduce large intact rainforest areas into fragmented pieces of forest. I will mention from this report just 3 of our recommendations to show to you some of the things we think needs to be done to protect the rainforest. The first one, where there should be general consensus, is to step up the efforts against illegal logging and forest crime. We show in the report the magnitude of forest crime, and how this is linked to other criminal activity, such as narco-trafficking, which threatens both forest and indigenous peoples. The second one, it is our view that investors, including public investment funds, such as the Norwegian Pension Fund, should take responsibility for not investing in activities causing tropical deforestation. And national governments should take a much stronger stand to regulate these investments. Third, and this is where the real struggle for the rainforest is taking place, the collective rights of local communities living in the world's rainforest should be recognized and respected. And by this, I leave the floor to my colleague from Peru, Beatriz, who is going to tell you about the real struggle.
Your Majesty, I have been working with indigenous organizations for 20 years, supporting them in their actions to defend indigenous people's rights and protect their forests. Lately, my work has been focused on an area along the Peru-Brazil border. There, we are trying to get the governments of both countries to establish what we call a territorial corridor for isolated indigenous peoples. A rainforest area the same size as a quarter of your country, Norway. This territorial corridor is the home of several isolated indigenous peoples that avoid contact with the people that don't belong to their groups. These peoples have chosen to live in this way, but their territories are constantly invaded and they are persecuted, killed, and threatened by illegal loggers, oil workers, and other actors that seek to exploit the natural resource on their lands. And if the forest is destroyed, they and their cultures will destroy it too. They are also extremely vulnerable to external disease, which they have not generated immunological defense against. A single flu epidemic can decimate them within months. For these reasons, they are probably the most vulnerable peoples on the planet. A few years ago, no politicians in Peru even knew about these people existed. There were no laws to protect them. Now, indigenous organizations from the Amazon and Paraguay have proved their existence and been able to influence governments and the United Nations. The United Nations now have guidelines on how governments should protect such isolated indigenous people. In Peru, there are 5 territorial reserves for the protection of these people's lives. And the indigenous movement has implemented a system of vigilance and control that guards the entrance to their territories. I know that the king has been to the Amazon, to the Yanomami people in Brazil, and I am sure the king knows how important territories are for indigenous peoples. In spite of such achievements, there are still huge challenges ahead. As we document in the State of the Rainforest report. Therefore, I am very glad that Your Majesty is concerned and care about the situation in the rainforest. I hope that can inspire leaders of the world to engage and support the struggle for indigenous people's rights and the protection of the rainforest. Thank you very much.